Hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be explaining CorelDraw environment. So if you're a beginner or you are at the advanced level of CorelDraw, you are going to gain one or two things in this tutorial. So stay tuned, and if you want to see other videos that I've made on this channel, you can click on the title of the channel, which is ID Tech. Then it will take you to the home page of this channel, and you can see other videos that I've made on this channel. So without wasting time at all, I will be explaining the environment of this CorelDraw. Now I'm using CorelDraw 2021, and if you are using a lower version or higher version, of course it is going to be similar to what I will be explaining. Okay, but if you are using a lower version, there's tendency that some of these features may not be present in the lower version, but of course you are going to see some similar features. And if you want to install Corel 2021, I've dropped a link on the description box. Then you can follow the link to install your CorelDraw 2021 on your computer. All right, so the first thing we are going to be mentioning here is the title bar, where the title of your document is displayed. Now I've not saved this document, that is why it is showing untitled 1. Okay, so if I should save this document, of course it will display the title of this document. Okay, so let me just put something on this workspace. Then let me just Ctrl S and save. Then here I can just save. Let me just type tutorial, okay, and save. And as you can see, the title bar has changed to tutorial.cdr. okay, this .cdr means CorelDraw. Just like other software like Microsoft Word, the extension to Microsoft Word is .doc, and if you are working on PowerPoint, it is going to be .ppt. okay, so the same thing goes to CorelDraw. It is .cdr whenever you are saving a CorelDraw document. Okay, so the next one is the menu bar. The section that is following our title bar is the menu bar. So on the menu bar you have some commands. Okay, so if I click on file here, we can see the command to open new document, to start from a template, to open an existing document, and the rest. Okay, so in the subsequent tutorial we are going to be taking care of each of these commands. Okay, so this is menu bar. So if you want to edit objects, you can see edit. You want to view, you want to work on the layout of your document, you want to work on objects, you can see each of the menu. Okay, they have drop downs that we can use, and we are going to be using them subsequently. Okay, so this is the menu bar. We have the title bar, and followed it we have the menu bar. Then the next one, we have the standard toolbar. The standard toolbar has the quick command or the quick tools that we use. Okay, tools like to save, redo, undo. Okay, then if you want to save as PDF, you can see it here. So this bar contains some quick tools that we need frequently when we are working on CorelDraw. Okay, so that is that. Then the next one is property bar. So this property bar is dynamic. Okay, it changes based on the objects you are working with or the tool you are working with. Now if I click on select tool, you can see it changes. You can see this is page orientation, units, and the rest. But if I click on zoom, for instance, you can see that the property bar changes according to the tool that is active. Okay, so if I click on select again, the property bar changes. So what is it about this property bar is that if you select an object, the property bar will change to what you can do with the object. So I am selecting this rectangle, for instance. You can see that what I'm having here are the properties of rectangles. Okay, so I can flip vertically, I can flip horizontally. If I want to increase the line, or I want to change the line to a dotted line, you can see it changes to dotted line. If I want to increase the line, I can come here, but immediately I click on another tool, you can see that those properties are no more there. Okay, so that property bar changes according to the object that is selected or according to the tool that you are currently using. Okay, so to the left hand side here we have the toolbox. On the toolbox we have the tools that are used to create different kinds of designs, and we are going to be using the tools with time in this series. Okay, so to the right hand side here we have the Docker window. On this Docker window we have the int, we have the property, we have the object by default, and after this object we have plus here. If I click on this plus, of course I can add other things to this Docker window here, and at any point in time if you cannot find your Docker window, for instance I mistakenly close that Docker window, then I can come under object and come and click on property. Okay, so you can see the property is back. If I go back to the object, I can click on object, then the object is back. Then if I click on this plus, I can look for int. Okay, so you can see the int right here, then the int is also back. Now let me just explain these ints, and in subsequent tutorial I will create another video separately for the Docker window, because there are many things to learn in this Docker window. Okay, so the int, for instance, if I click on an object, you can see I'm clicking on rectangle, then I can see the hint on what to do with the rectangle. So for instance, I am clicking on this zoom tool. For instance, you can see that the hint on the Docker window has changed. So each tool that you are clicking on the hint, you can see what you can do with the tool. So I'm selecting a rectangle tool, for instance, and you can see right here it's naming it rectangle tool. Then it is saying that to draw a rectangle, drag where you want to place it. That means if I click and drag, I can draw my rectangle, and whatever I want to do with my rectangle, I can also see int here. Then on the property, I can see the property of this rectangle. If I want to change the outline, I can come here and increase the outline, and you can see that it becomes thicker. Okay, so there are other things I can do here, but I just want to introduce you to the environment, and like I said, I'll create another video tutorial for this Docker window to explain it better. Then of the object also, you can create layers for your design, and you can likely lock layers, and you can also lock layers in your design. So for instance, you have a student that are teaching how to work on CorelDraw, and you will just want to create a sample of what to do for your student. You can easily place what to lock on layer 1 and create another layer, which is layer 2, for the students to work. So your students will not be able to edit what you locked, but in the next video I'm going to be explaining that deeply. Okay, so next video is going to center on this Docker window. Okay, so the next one is our drawing window. Okay, so you may likely be using this interchangeably, but they are different. We have the drawing window and we have the drawing page. Okay, now if you look at my screen very well now, you can see that here we have a space here after this toolbox. Now we have this space right here, this white space right here is called drawing window. Now inside this white space we have this rectangular shape, not the one I draw. Okay, so you can see this rectangular shape is here like a page of a book. Okay, so this is what is called a drawing page. Now if I go to the property bar, now you can see letter here. So from here I can change my paper size. So if I change it to A5 for instance, you can see that it is my drawing page that changes. So if I change it to A3 for instance, my drawing page becomes bigger, and I can also fit it to page just the way I want it. Now the next one is document navigator. Now if you look at this bottom left corner, we have 1 of 1, then we have plus, then we have page 1. So on this document navigator, you can move between pages, because in CorelDraw you can create multiple pages. So if I click on this plus, you can see I now have page 1 and I have page 2, and there are things you can do with your pages. On this drop down here, if I click on it, you can see rename page, insert page after, insert page before, duplicate page, delete page, switch page orientation. So if I click on rename page for instance, I can name it book cover and click OK. Then you can see that page 1 is my book cover. Okay, so you can see book cover. Then I can also decide to rename my page 2. I can insert page after it, I can insert a page before it, I can duplicate this page if I want, and I can also delete this page, and I can switch orientation. So if I click on switch orientation, it will change from portrait to landscape. Okay, then I can also go back and switch orientation back to portrait. Okay, so that is that about document navigator. Also we have document palette. Okay, so document palette is here, which contains all the colors you are using on the current document. For instance, now let me just draw a circle. Let me just draw this circle right here. Now if you look at this document palette here, there's no color here, but if I come to the color palette and click, you can see the color comes up. Okay, so if I draw something else and click on blue for instance, blue is added to my document palette. The usefulness of this is to maintain color rules in CorelDraw. So the rule is 60 30 10, which means your primary color in CorelDraw has to be 60%, the secondary color has to be 30%, and the accent color has to be 10%. When you mix too much colors in CorelDraw, your design becomes odd. So when you want to use color repeatedly, then you can come to your document palette to reuse the color, because on the color palette we have so many colors, so you might have clicked on any one and you may not be able to know the one you have clicked exactly. So you can come to your document palette to reuse your color. So for instance, I draw another object here. I may not need to go back to my color palette. I will just come to my document palette and reuse the color that I've used before. So you can see when I click on it, it fills the object. Okay, so that is that about document palette. Then we have color palette. Okay, so you can see we have colors here, so you can choose any color of your choice. So the difference between this color palette and document palette is that the color palette is there by default for CorelDraw for you to choose your color. So the document palette is for your current drawing, while the color palette is a standard bar containing different colors for you to use in your drawing. Then we also have Navigator. All right, so for instance, I am drawing. For instance, I have drawn this and I've given it color, and somehow it is going away from my drawing window. Then I can come to my navigator here. You can see a zoom sign here. Click on it, then you will see the whole drawing that you have made. Then you can click and move over it to see every part of your drawing. And on the other hand, if you want to see all your drawings in your drawing window, you can also come to the standard toolbar and click on this zoom level and click to fit. Okay, so it will fit. Now let me do a clear explanation on the drawing window and the drawing page. Now, as earlier said, the drawing page is what is printable after making your drawing, and you want to print what is on your drawing page is what is printed. Now I have two objects outside my drawing page. You can see my drawing page right here. So I have three objects on my drawing page, right? I have two objects outside my drawing page. So if I want to print now, let me go to files and click on print. Okay, then I'm going to click on print preview to see what is going to be printed. So you can see that what is displayed for me is what is on the drawing page, not on the drawing window. You can see the three objects on the drawing page is what is displayed. So if I close this window, you can see that there are other two objects outside the drawing page that are not shown to me. So when you are going to print, so whatever you are going to be drawing should be on your drawing page and not outside your drawing page. So when you are importing image, you are doing anything at all, it can be outside your drawing page, but whatever is on your drawing page is what is going to be printed for you, even when you have to export and convert your drawing to a picture. All right, then the next one is our status bar that contains information about object property such as type, the size, the fill and resolution of your object. Okay, so I'm selecting this object right here. You can see on the property bar I am having polygon with 5 sides on layer 1, and I'm having the color to be deep violet, and I'm having the outline to be black. So it will give you information about what is selected. Now if I click on this blue object, you can see that the color changes to blue. Okay, if I click on this circle, you can see it is saying ellipse of layer 1, then the color and the outline. So you can see the property of the object that you are choosing. Okay, so let's move to the next one, and probably the last one for this video. Okay, the next one is our ruler. Now pay attention to this pointer. It is black in color. Now if I move up, you can see it turns to white. Once it turns to white, then you can click and drag down, then you can see the ruler. The same thing to the left hand side. If I move to the left hand side, the pointer will change from black to white. Then if I click on it, then I can move my ruler. Now why do we need this ruler in our drawing? Let me delete first. Now how do I know? Let me give this a white background. Okay, now how do I know the center of this circle? The center of this circle is this dot at the middle, and as I move my pointer over it, it shows center. Now if I want to draw a straight line like this, how do I know that this line is passing through the center? Because once I select that tool, the circle will not be selected again. So how do I know that? Is to bring my ruler to the center. Okay, so as you can see, my ruler comes to the center. So when I want to draw my line, I can follow the ruler to draw my lines. Okay, so you can see the ruler will be a guideline for me. So when I'm done drawing the line, then I can delete the ruler. Then I can be sure that my line is at the center. All right, let's come to the toolbox. The toolbox, we have many tools here, but some tools have varieties. Okay, like this line tool. If I click on this small arrow to the bottom right corner, you can see then I can have different types of line. With you see, I can have freehand, 2-point line, bezier, pen, B-spline, polyline, 3-point curve. Now this is called fly house. So whenever you are seeing this small dot to the bottom right corner, it means this particular tool has other types that you can work with. All right, so in the next video, like I said, we are going to be working on other things, but I hope we'll be working on the Docker window. Then we can go to using our tools for drawing. All right, so thank you for watching this tutorial. I will see you in my next video.